Okay, welcome everyone to the March 2023-2024 meeting of the Memphis Astronomical Society. I'm your host. We got a very informative program for you guys tonight, getting into full-blown solar eclipse fever. And we got two of our best, Freddy and Ric, who are going to give, I think, a lot of very practical and detailed information. We're going to talk about the eclipse tonight. The next three meetings are actually going to be dedicated to the solar eclipse. So I know everybody's kind of making their plans and preparations, and we're essentially entering the period known as solar eclipse hell. We know that the shadow is coming, but we can't make specific plans until we know where the clouds are going to be. So it's kind of hurry up and wait mode. We'll talk about that as well. But 5 weeks from today, the plan is to be right back here on April 5. And that's kind of like our special emergency last-minute meeting. Scramble mode. We'll have a 3-day forecast, pretty good idea of where to go and where not to go. And then after that, we take our best shot. In May, we're going to ruffle a lot of feathers. So we're going to switch from Friday nights to Monday nights. Some of you have already voiced your opinions about this. Thank you very much. We welcome all feedback. But our meeting in May will be on May the 6th. It will be here. It will be our first Monday night meeting as we make the switch, and we'll see how it goes. We did poll the membership on this. We did vote on the board. It is a controversial decision.
Let's be clear. We polled the membership, and of those that answered, the majority wanted this to move to Monday night.
69%.
So if you did not, when we send out a survey and you don't answer it, there you go.
This is an example of, if you're a member and you're a paying member, you have a voice. So if there's a vote or decision, right, this was
It wasn't close.
this was not a random decision. This was well thought out, and it took some time to implement. So yeah, we definitely put some thought into this. So, anyway.
We argued fiercely.
It wasn't too bad. It could have been worse. This is why we do our meetings via Zoom, so that it doesn't get, we avoid any altercations. So.
He's exactly right. No good ones wear cards.
Anyway. All right, we are the Memphis Astronomical Society. Again, we're a nonprofit public service organization promoting interest in education, astronomy, and related sciences. The best way to learn about us is on our website, memphisastro.org. We're also on Facebook. We've got a group. And of course, if you haven't already and you would like more information, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got all our past meetings and other events there as well. If you'd like to join, all you got to do is scan this QR code. And usually it's on the banner out front, but I've got the older version. But you can do that. Or you can just go to our website and click the join button. You can subscribe to our email list. We send out notices about once a week. Or you can, of course, join, sign up and become a full-fledged member, which is what we recommend. So that's how you engage with us. I'll kind of briefly mention this. Again, calendar of events, March 1. We've got some stuff coming up, mainly outreach events that we're requesting some telescope help with. Now, tomorrow night, we are planning to be at Burton Sugar Farm. One of our board members will be there hosting a dark sky observing event. So if you want to come out, either bring a scope or not bring a scope, then feel free to do that. That's tomorrow night, March the 2nd. We'll make the go, no-go call notice tomorrow morning based on weather. I think the advanced forecast looks promising. So that's March the 2nd. Now, what just came in, I believe, is March the 7th. Pinecrest has reached out to us and requested some help. So Mylan is not here tonight. I was going to have him follow up on that. But we'll confirm this. That's next Thursday. Pinecrest is a camp near Moscow, Tennessee. It's a straight shot, basically down what normally is Poplar Avenue. So if you are available Thursday night and you can bring a telescope out, we don't need many. We don't need like 20 scopes, maybe 2 or 3 or 1 or 2. Thursday night, we're looking for some telescope help. The following Friday, we're getting into like March Madness, right? We got a lot of stuff going on. So this time of year also is an opportune time to do what's called a Messier Marathon. So there are 110 deep sky objects, and it's kind of like a hot dog eating contest where you try to consume them all at once. We don't necessarily recommend this if you're trying to learn it the first time, but if you want to go for all 110 in one setting or try to get as many of them as you can, this is the time of year to do it. So we're going to be tentatively hosting a Messier Marathon at Astro Flats next Friday, March the 8th. And I think, Steve, you're going to be there, right?
Yes.
Steve will be there, and then Don is going to be there also?
Yeah, Don's probably.
Yes.
On this calendar, every time I try to click on something for more information, what I'm looking for is directions to where it is, because then the purpose.
Right, I got you. We don't have links on the calendar for that. We send out the email notices.
Emails have the directions.
The emails have the directions.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually a good recommendation. Maybe we'll look at that.
Well,
If it can be
we've had
done.
that argument before too.
Okay.
Just how public do we want everybody to know where we're gonna be in the middle of the night, on a Saturday night, far away from everything.
With more than $10 worth of equipment.
Exactly.
Change the no weapons policy.
So,
We
yeah,
have no weapons policy.
hence the email notices. So, but Astro Flats, of course, is our members-only dark sky site. This is the benefit you have access to for being a member, and you can go anytime. It doesn't have to be on a Friday night. It's 24/7. You go on our Slack channel and get the code. Merrill has made some improvements, and he emailed me right after I put this presentation together. So I don't have the pictures, but I think you've laid a gravel road.
Well, yeah, the incoming road is better gravel, and then I made a 80 by 32 parking lot.
80 by 32 parking lot.
So it's handled most people.
Right.
Yeah, so.
You can bring an RV out there, I think.
Well,
I don't think we've ever had an RV out
Is
there.
Keith there?
Yeah, Keith is not here, so, but yeah,
I would save the RV till dry weather.
Say, is it dry enough yet?
yeah, might want to wait. March is mud, you don't want to get stuck. So, but there should be enough room for, multiple people to come out and bring their telescopes. The skies are fantastic. Again, you can go, this is the ultimate, this is the best option for impromptu observing. So, but anyway, next Friday, March the 8th, if you want to take a shot at a Messier Marathon, I did this a few years ago. I didn't get through all 110, but even if you do like 60 or 70 in a night, it's a great experience. So Steve is going to be there. Don's going to be there. Again, we're going to make the call the day of, depending on the weather. But we've got that kind of coming up next Friday. If you want
Once that
that
works
shot.
out, if I don't come for the whole thing, I'll show up in the morning and prepare to do pancakes.
There you go, Steve.
We've been planning this for like 5 years. This would be the ultimate. Wrap up a marathon at 4 or 5 in the morning with Rick making pancakes. That would be pretty cool. So every year we plan this, we end up getting clouded out. So it's been definitely been hit or miss, mostly miss, but you never know. So now the following Saturday, March the 9th, we've got an outreach event at Mississippi River State Park. We did this last fall. Dr. Bustler is going to be doing the indoor program. And it's similar to Village Creek, where we have an indoor program for an hour, and then we have observing afterwards. So we're going to need telescopes for this, probably 7 or 8 ideally. And Mississippi River State Park is actually similar to Village Creek. If you go out to straight shot down 40, and then you take the same exit for a city, instead of going north toward Wynn, you go south. So, and I think a group of us are going to meet for dinner at the same place, Delta Q Barbecue. It's not barbecue anymore. It's just Delta Q now. They've changed it. But there's a restaurant there off that exit, and there's Delta Q. If you want to meet there for dinner around 5:15, stay for an hour, and then follow us up to the observing site. So Mississippi River State Park, the indoor program will start around 7, and then we do observing from, say, 8 to 10 or so. So that's next Saturday, March the 9th. Again, we will send out notices about this, but just kind of be thinking about whether you're available and whether you can take a telescope along. So we need a handful of scopes to service this program. So Mark is not here tonight either. So follow up with him. I'm not going to be available. I'm going to be out of town for a few days. So I'll miss both of these. But anyway, that's what we got coming up next weekend. Stay tuned to your email notices. And then on the 14th, Thursday, I'll talk about that in just a second because I got a separate slide about the astrophotography group meeting. The 16th of March, we're going to be at Bobby Lanier Farm Park. And many of you have been to this event. It's one of our more popular outreach events. It's in Germantown. Usually the turnout is great. It's convenient for people who are in town. So tentatively plan on that one as well. Again, always need a lot of telescopes, but we always get a pretty good turnout for that as well. One of our more popular outreach events. And I think that's it for March as we get into a bright moon. After that, we're kind of getting into, full-blown solar eclipse mode. We got a lot of outreach events, a lot of requests to do presentations and solar observing. So those are not on the calendar, but if you don't get what you need tonight, or if you're looking for last minute plans, or somebody who may want to hear a solar eclipse presentation, we've got them coming up at Germantown Library, Collierville Library. They're coming in. They're basically just starting to come in as we get into March. This truly is going to be March Madness, one of the more stressful months of March that we've had. And if you haven't already, a reminder, your taxes are due April 15th, so make sure you get that in as well. Okay, so anyway, that's what we got coming up. Keep an eye on your email. Okay, want to welcome some new members. If you're here tonight, just raise your hand. Won't put you on the spot, but I do want to acknowledge the people who've joined recently. Rodney Devine, Zachary Sawyer, Chris Adair, David Llewellyn, Sunita De Souza.
Yes, here.
Sunita, welcome. There you go.
Almost didn't find this place.
It's hard to find this place. Finally. We need to get directional signs or something. Welcome. You're breaking your tradition, by the way. Normally, when somebody joins, they're absent. Our track record has been improving, so nice to have you on board. Jeff Kerwin. I'm going to butcher this name probably. Phineas Breeze. Phineas?
That would be me.
Welcome. Welcome. How do you say your last name?
Brazee.
Brazee. Got it.
Think of the animal zebra, but swap it around.
Gotcha. Phineas Brazee.
Brazee.
Welcome.
I had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry.
An animal name backwards. At least it wasn't hippopotamus backwards.
Right.
That'd be a little rough. Sue Morrissey. She's here. Yeah, Sue, you're here. And I think that's it. We actually got her yesterday, so.
Just in time.
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. Happy to have you guys on board.
Every 4 years.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to pay your membership dues for another 4 years. Marilyn, you don't have to follow up here in 28. I'm just working your birthday's on the 29th, right? Celebrate.
Nice.
4 years. Reminder, Meteorite, check that out. Another member benefit, our newsletter. Okay, astrophotography group meeting, March the 14th. Again, if you're interested in astrophotography, want to learn more, this is a great group to get involved with. They're the MASFITs. There is a form on our website that you can fill out if you're new and you just want to kind of engage these guys and let them know what you're interested in learning more about. And we'll send out the agenda along with the Zoom link. And our past meetings are also on our YouTube channel. So again, it's kind of like a moving train. You can jump on anytime. And then,
Yeah. One thing, if somebody wants to get on our Slack channel too, which is tremendous information, knowledge, let me know, just drop an email or.
right. So M.A.S. are the MASFITs.
Yeah, that's, we have a Slack channel and it's got 60-some people now.
Excellent.
There's a lot of brain power there.
60 plus people on the Slack channel dedicated to astrophotography.
Wow.
A lot of information, a lot of knowledge.
It's Merrill at memphisastro.org.
Merrill at memphisastro.org. And it's spelled Merrill, M-E-R-R-E-L, one L, because his parents could afford him the second L. So remember that. Not two L's, one L.
Stakes in Missouri.
That's right. Merrill at memphisastro.org. Email him if you'd like to be added to the Slack channel. Great resource if you're looking to learn about astrophotography. March 14, 7 p.m. Central This is wrong, okay? It's Central Daylight Time because we have daylight savings coming up. So I got to update the slide. So not Central Standard Time, Central Daylight Time. Everybody fall forward next Saturday. Spring forward, not fall forward. Spring forward. Spring forward. So we jump ahead 1 hour next week, next March the 10th. So yeah, I'm sure you guys will remember. Okay, Cafe Press, again, another resource if you want your M.A.S. swag, whether it's t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, anything, golf balls. Well, you can go on, you basically click that link, and you can't see it here in the meeting, but on the website, hopefully you can see it.
That shirt and a t-shirt with a pocket.
This one, this is not a M.A.S. fits shirt. I don't think we have a Solar Eclipse shirt yet. No, I don't have any pockets. Yeah. Yeah, shirts with pockets, golf shirts. So, yeah, there's a lot of Solar Eclipse shirts out there now. You can actually get them at Kroger pretty cheap. So, there's only two. Yeah, there's only two of those. You've got one, I've got the other one. So, you'll see that in just a minute. Yeah. Yeah, everything goes on sale on the 9th. So if you want a discount on your Solar Eclipse shirts, April 9th, that's the time. It's like your after Christmas shopping. You can get great discounts. You're ready for the next one in 20 years. Glasses, we got them out front. Many of you got them. We got plenty of glasses. That's going to change. That's why most of you are here tonight. If we don't have them out front, I've got plenty more in the back. So this is the time to be liberal about your solar eclipse glasses. So we still got quite a few, but as we do outreach events in the coming weeks leading up to the eclipse, those glasses are going to go pretty quick. I had a representative from Shelby County Schools call me yesterday. Is he in the room, by the way? Okay, he's not in the room. He wants solar eclipse glasses for every school in Shelby County. So I don't know if we can fulfill that order.
So
But I told him,
I did the math on that in 2017. That's a $25,000 adventure.
okay,
So if they got 25 grand,
yeah,
call American Paper Office.
yeah. We can put you in touch with them. But I don't know if we'll be able to fulfill that, but we can certainly help out. So
I tried to get a grant.
obviously you guys take priority. We've been doing this for the last several months. If you come here in person, you get them. But if you got, friends, relatives, just whoever, if you got a group, then get your glasses tonight. You should have enough. If we run out, let me know. We can get you some more. So, but a month from now, it's going to be pretty thin. So, also, Sky and Telescope reached out to us and asked us to help them kind of promote this special edition of the eclipse. They have a Sky and Telescope magazine exclusively dedicated to the solar eclipse. And I didn't bring my copy tonight, but we are an official 2024 Great Eclipse partner for Sky and Telescope. So that means we're kind of promoting them and they're promoting us. And you can get a t-shirt. I'm not exactly sure how you get that t-shirt. I think you just go on their website and order it. So this is actually available also in Barnes and Noble. So if I know people don't go to bookstores anymore, but if you physically walk into a store like we used to do, you'll see it on the newsstands, next to a magazine with Taylor Swift on it. So this one is more informative than that magazine. So get this magazine. So anyway, you can get it or you can order it and they'll ship it to you for like 18 bucks or something. A lot of great information on the solar eclipse. If you still subscribe to Sky and Telescope, the April edition has some good information in it also. And speaking of which, we are 38 days away. So 5 weeks from now, we're getting ready. I'll introduce our speakers here in just a moment. The biggest variable is going to be the weather. So the challenge with April is we get these long fronts that are shaped like the eclipse path. So if we have a bad eclipse day, likely hundreds of miles of the eclipse path could be clouded out. If we have a good day, a large portion of it could be clear. So we're in Memphis. My guess, and this is a total guess, is that somewhere between Cape Girardeau and Dallas, Texas, it's going to be clear. All right? So if you look at the data for the last 45 years, I'll show you some examples. There are only 6 days in the last 45 years where that entire swath of the path was clouded out. Unfortunately, one of those days occurred in 2018, which is relatively recently. So if you're kind of looking at a high-level plan here, for those of you who are thinking day trip, I would say plan A, go to Cape Girardeau. All right? Straight shot up I-55. It's easier to traverse 55 than 40. You can get very close to the center line, a lot of flat lands in Missouri. So you can not only see the eclipse, but all the effects of shadow bands, 360-degree sunset, everything else. And it seems to be fairly manageable. So that's kind of plan A if it's clear up there. And then, of course, plan, I would say, AB or BA, however you want to talk about it, is Hardy, Arkansas. So if you get to Jonesboro, you're already in the path. It's the most direct route into the eclipse path from Memphis, hour-and-a-half drive. And then the further west you go, you're progressing toward the center line. And we do have a group that's going to be meeting at Kia Kima Scout Reservation. This is kind of a sign-up only opportunity because the rules that the scouts put in place, but they can accommodate several people. The cabin is already full. So if you want to get there the night before, you're likely looking at camping, but they need help. So if you're an M.A.S. member or part of our community and you want to get involved in that opportunity, email me. I'll add you to the list. I can see about a meal plan also. We're having a 3-day weekend event. And again, they're kind of the caveat is you help us, we'll help you. You can have our site for the eclipse, but help out the scouts, the Boy Scouts. They're having, was it 800 or 900? 1,800. 1,800? Okay, 1,800 scouts. So they definitely need help.
So what does it cooperate?
We will need a study.
What's that?
To put the weather to cooperate.
It's kaput if the weather doesn't cooperate, yeah.
You'll still get dark.
Yeah. This is why, guys, I can't stress this enough. This is not about the corona, this is about the clouds. This entire eclipse is about the clouds. It's April. It's like my stepdaughter said, Jeremy, April showers bring May flowers. What do May flowers bring? I don't know. Pilgrims. Oh, yeah. So anyway, the weather is everything. We won't know. We may not know literally until hours before where we're going to be. It's April 7th is going to be the worst day of my life. Just get terribly sick. I got sick the last time. Couldn't sleep, throwing up. It was awful. So yeah, it's now we may luck out. So, hope springs eternal. But yeah, when we get from March 25, those 2 weeks leading up to the eclipse, it's definitely going to be, I'm going to be probably calling Rick a lot or somebody, I don't know. I've reached out to a meteorologist, so I do have some professional help, hopefully coming.
That's not,
So, plan C, go straight down I-40. Conway, Russellville is having a big event. Morrilton is a great exit also. Any of those spots, just west of Conway as you're reaching the center line. I found the perfect spot. I was going to reveal it tonight, but I didn't want to stretch my luck. It turns out there's a lot of cemeteries right on the center line of the eclipse. Yeah. Terrible. Okay, you asked about traffic. So I made a trip to Jean Petit State Park to check that out. And I just asked them. And they said, we're expecting about 100,000 people that day.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Jean Petit State Park?
No, it's called Pettit Jean.
Petit Jean.
Where's that at?
This is Arkansas. This ain't France.
Petit Jean. So if you go toward Morrilton, it's like right down in this area right here.
I'm gonna talk about
So
that.
you stay away from that area?
No.
Rick is going to talk more about it.
I'll tell you, here's what you need to know about traffic. Getting there, probably not gonna be an issue. Coming home is where the traffic always backs up. Everybody leaves at the same time. Getting there, nobody left at the same time.
But they did tell me if you're going to travel that day, get there at 6 a.m., take a nap. So if you, I know it's hard to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. Last time I left at 4 a.m. I didn't have any problem getting the limit on by 7 a.m. We don't know what the traffic's going to be like. They're likely going to overestimate it. So the idea of long lines and traffic jams, but again, if you're driving west along 40, my recommendation would be leave as early as you can because all you need is one accident or 40 is treacherous from Memphis to Little Rock. So I'd feel more confident going north. That's why it's kind of my plan A. 55 is a lot easier than going west along 40. 40 is just one I don't trust. So that would be one I would recommend leaving as early Leave in the middle of the night if you can.
Is the 6 a.m. arrival time basically there so that even if the traffic is catastrophic, you'll make it by the time the eclipse starts? Because I'm just curious, like, that seems real early to me, honestly.
Yeah, well, sure.
He's saying get there at 6 a.m.
No, not
Yeah,
leave at
Eclipse
6.
isn't until noon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the 6 hour window there,
Uh-huh.
is it to set up, or is it just purely because traffic could be so bad, it could take us 4 hours longer than we expect?
It's a good question. So that came from the ranger at Pettigene, not Gene, Pettigene State Park. If you're in there, you got a parking lot that has a finite number of parking spots and a very narrow road. So what they're telling me is it's first come, first serve. Once we fill up, we're shutting down the roads into that park. So if you want this spot, you got to get there by 6 a.m. Now,
But you're in the path of totality. The bottom line is, once you get to Jonesboro, you're in the path
Yeah.
of totality. Stop, get out of your car,
Walmart.
and watch. You know, that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
if you're going along 40, assuming there isn't traffic issues, again, like Rick said, once you get into Little Rock and north, you can breathe a little easier. You're in the path. And getting off of 40 is going to be a lot easier if you're near interstate. There's a lot of options. I mean, Conway, of course, is great. Morrilton's it's a pretty nice exit too. They've got a Walmart there, they've got a McDonald's, they got restaurants. But again, there's going to be a lot of people converging to these spots. I think the more remote areas off the beaten path, where you got 2-lane roads, are the ones you got to be a little concerned about if you're trying to position to a specific location. If you're near interstate, I think your chances are probably better to maneuver, and not necessarily have to leave so early, but I'm thinking if it's a day trip to one of these 3 spots, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning is when you're going to want to leave, just so you're aware of that. I know that's early, but this doesn't happen very often either, so.
Is there anybody that plans to drive to Texas? Because I'm planning to drive, and I was just wondering if there's anybody in this group who wants to go to South Texas.
It will depend on the weather. That's my plan
I
D.
know somebody down there, that's my plan, my C plan, is it's a 12-hour drive
Yeah.
for me, and I tend to drive straight through that
Truck driver. Of course,
stuff. I've retired now.
Sorry.
I think you're right the first time. Texas. So this area by Texarkana, I don't know why, but I feel like that's a good option this year. It's a total guess. But if you look at the weather the last several years, that little corner has been fairly reliable. So the idea is get to Texarkana and either go west toward Dallas, maybe get as far as Sulphur Springs, right on the center line. Or if you want to take your chances, I don't know what's up in this area. I haven't explored it yet, DeQueen and some of these other areas there. I'm sure all these little communities have got big events planned, so.
$250 for the big ticket.
Yeah. That's about the extent of what I know. You guys probably know better than me, quite frankly. And a lot of you already have plans, so.
You mentioned big ticket, what is this that? No, I said for a day ticket. Oh, my Facebook is full of ads for every little campground, and they're having these festivals, and they give you a pack with sunglasses, and the prices are astronomical.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
No pun
Yeah. I just thought of something else. I just got an email from somebody in Hot Springs. They're having an event, and they do have accommodations. So if anybody's interested in that, if you got my email address, email me directly. I'll forward you that email. It's got a link. Hot Springs is right here.
I've got reservations in Hot Springs.
Okay.
A lot of people go to Hot Springs. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people go to Hot Springs anyway.
I was surprised that they still had accommodations. And again, I don't know what the prices are. I just got the email. I was going to put it in this presentation, but it just came in. So I can send that out as well if anybody's interested in checking that out.
The accommodations like in Conway, you're about $500 per room.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a couple of options here, you know. So if you're looking for accommodations at the last minute, you may pay an upcharge. So, but take that and spread it out over 20 years and ask yourself if it's worth it. So, just saying.
It's pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
4 minutes is pretty good.
It's pretty comfortable.
This eclipse occurs the night after, or the day after the perigee, the night before. So this is a pretty good eclipse. So make every effort to get it. I mentioned this weather. If we get a day like this, I was in Arkansas actually on this day, Little Rock, and we had a beautiful day. So this is the good. This is what it looked like a year later. That's the bad. Basically, the entire path clouded out. And this is the ugly. This is the one that scares me the most because it's like, it's really hard to decide exactly where to go. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Anywhere you go, you're probably going to make a bad choice. But still, Arkansas looked fairly good, but realistically South Texas. So this forecast is very inconsistent. So get back to it, right, 3 weeks, right? We'll find out in 3 or 4 weeks. And of course, I mentioned this, the Kia Kima Scout event. So we got a handful of people signed up for this. If you're still interested, email me and we'll add your name to the list. 4 minutes and 9 seconds of duration.
But it's full there too, right? The cabin is full, right?
Yeah, the cabin accommodations are full. So you're either looking at making a day trip there, or we got one guy bringing an RV, another guy tent camping there.
You have to sign up if you're just gonna get up in the morning and go up there for?
Yeah.
I need your name on the
You have
list,
to
yeah.
sign up?
Yeah, they won't just let you in the camp. We Scouts have rules about adults.
As it should.
Yeah.
If you're signed up to be there and the place fills up before you get there, you still have a spot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna let our contact know. This is the list of people that are coming. These are the people that have signed up for the cabin. This is the people that have signed up for a meal plan. So I'm communicating with them. And then, they can, I told her anywhere from 5 to 50 people are coming. So right now we've got, it's just a handful, less than 10 that have raised their hands. So, and a lot of us are kind of on wait and see mode.
And what
So-
does it cost?
There is no cost. Now, if they don't provide a meal plan and you want to be there the weekend, it's $100 per person for 3 days. So, but I'm working on that as well for people who are willing to help out for the eclipse. So there's no charge to get in as long as you're willing to help out. So that's kind of, am I saying that right, former scout?
I'm sorry?
Am I saying that correctly?
Say it.
For the KKSR, basically how it's going to work. No charge to get in. You got to let them know that you're part of the Memphis Astronomical Society.
That part I don't know about. You've been talking to them about that.
Right. Got it.
I know the Scouts pay to be there.
Yeah, the scouts pay to be there.
Right.
Yeah. The meal plan, they did quote me though, $100 per person for the 3 days.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Camp food's not bad. Trust me.
That's all I got. So Rick, I think it's your turn. So we're going to start with Rick. Oh, you have one question?
Can I have a report from that?
Okay. So this is, tell you what, let me get to the microphone.
Guess where I was.
There.
I think my voice is loud enough.
Well, the people online got to hear though.
Oh, okay, well.
You just hold it.
Whatever. I went up to the eclipse up at Mount Juliet, which is about 60 miles east of Nashville. Quite by accident, I found out they were having an event at Charlie Daniels Park. So you can guess what kind of music was being played there. Well, in preparation for that, I bought some of the butter filter material. It's the same as what's in the glasses that you buy here, you have here, but it's really thin stuff. But it's Mylar, and you can't punch through it with your finger. I had some left over, and I've got 6 pieces here
They're each about 6 square inches. Okay. The price is the most reasonable I can make on it, and that being free. So, anybody that wants this, welcome to it. I'm not going to hand it out. I don't like disappointing people.
Set it there by the book here.
Okay.
I'll work with these.
That is-
In case, so you can take this and make your own solar filter, and I have actually done presentations on how to do that. I can talk to you about how to do that with some cardboard and this stuff and a little bit of glue, and make your own solar filter, and you'll be in business. And this is a great opportunity, because an 8.5 by 11 sheet of that is about $35 now.
No, I bought a.
Yeah, I got a sheet like this.
No, I didn't get quite that much. I got about a 2 foot by 18 inches or something like
Yeah.
that. And what's really neat, if you have really small kids, you cut an opening in a paper plate and stick that over it, and it makes it easier for them. They don't have to look through the glasses.
This is a homemade solar filter for my 8-inch.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about getting it perfectly flat. It's not going to affect it. So
This is another, just a
So-
little bit of cardboard and
I'm 76 years old. It's time to start cleaning out the house. And I won't be around for the one in 2045, which is going to be just south of Memphis.
Good optimist.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. 2045. Never know. All right, Rick.
All right, so let me change presentation. All right. So, I'm going to talk. So, Jeremy, I said I'd do something for the thing this month, and then, of course, as always, time slips up, and I'm not a lot of time into this, but I'm going to talk a little bit about solar eclipses in general and my history with them, and then how I became Rick Honey, PA. PA stands for Professional Astronomer. And we'll get going from here. So this is, by the way, the first picture of a total solar eclipse. This is one of the first pictures taken, period. This thing is from 1851. It was a 24-second exposure. This was not film as you know it today. I forget what it was called. But this is the very first picture of the sun's corona. So this is pretty cool. In fact, that was from a presentation I did on the history of astrophotography. So this is my very first picture of the solar corona from 2017. And so before that eclipse, and of course, we knew about the two of them coming up, and the Great American Solar Eclipse, and the fact that they were both going to cross right here at Carbondale, Illinois. And so the University of Illinois Carbondale had a huge solar eclipse convention thing a year before the eclipse. And Jeremy and I went to it, and we learned a whole bunch about how to prepare for solar eclipses and what have you. And we walked away from that with a lot of good information. We actually, at one point, were planning for the Memphis Astronomical Society to charter a bus to invite people to come get on the bus. We're going to go where the eclipse is. We'll turn around and come back, and yada, yada. And, I think we figured it was going to cost about a little more than $100 a head to pay for the bus, and that was going to be fine. But, the more we looked into it, the more we got to dealing with it, the more we realized that you got a 3-day window to decide where you're going to go, because that's about as good as weather predictions are. They're about good for 72 hours. So we kind of gave up on the bus idea and just said, all right, keep an eye on the weather, and here's where you can go, and go where you can. And we scattered to the wind. At one point, most of us were going to go up into Illinois. Some did, some didn't. Turns out I went to high school in Hendersonville, Tennessee, which is just outside of Nashville. And there's another town, it was our high school rivalry town, just out on the other side of us, called Gallatin, Tennessee. And they were right on the path. In fact, their city park was right on the path. And they had called all around Nashville trying to find somebody involved with astronomy to come out and host their party and what have you for the solar eclipse. And they couldn't find anyone. They wound up calling me. And I thought, well, how much fun is that? Hendersonville always beat them at football. I can go beat them at astronomy too. So I went up there and did, they had a stage set up. This is the big deal. And they had, they had this stuff. I took some solar filter material so that they could put some over one of the TV cameras they were using to broadcast it, and they had it up on the Jumbotron. And I had a camera on a tripod with a timer set on it, because one of the things, and I want to stress this, if you've never seen a total eclipse, the difference between that and being here in Memphis on the day of is night and day, literally. It is nothing like, you can be 99% of an eclipse and you ain't there yet. Until you're in the path of totality, you will not get the experience that everyone else with. And if you've been doing any of this for a while, at some point, it's almost a spiritual thing. It's awesome. I think even if it clouds out, even if you're in a place where the cloud moves in and obliterates it, you will still get a huge experience out of being there when it goes dark. And that'll be worth it. So make every effort you can to get in the path of totality. Fortunately, the deal I made with the people at Gallatin was a week ahead of time, if the weather prediction was, I think, 70% chance of being clear, then I would come there. If not, I was going to go someplace else. They were all right with that. I took it. I went up there. Everything was fine. Getting there was fine. Coming home was the trick. Getting Interstate 40. So I don't know if y'all do Google Maps. I love Google Maps, and I use an iPad when I drive on the console, and I have Google Maps showing on it all the time. And you get the red thing where everything backs up, green where everything's good, yellow where it's slow, and red where it's backed up. The interstate was backed up from the Tennessee River almost to Nashville at one point, all red. I took Highway 70 home. So that was the 2017 eclipse, and that was my first total eclipse, and it was awesome. Then in recent years, some of us have gotten familiar with this company called PlaneWave. They make some really cool telescopes. They have one here at Rhodes, and another member of our society has one. And then the primary technician for PlaneWave, whose mother lived here in Memphis, moved back to Memphis to help take care of his mother. And he was he had lived in California for years. He'd been working with the Exploratorium Museum out of San Francisco, who is funded by NASA to go do these solar eclipse expeditions. And for the last 20 years, they've been running around the world, going to solar eclipses and providing live satellite feeds of the eclipse while it's happening. Excuse me. Well, I don't know what happened to it. So the bottom line was he asked Merrill if he knew anybody in the M.A.S. that might be interested in participating in this. And what they do, they take two teams to deal with the weather issue because they can't just pack everything up and move at the last minute. They take months and months of planning to do what they do. We're talking about a full production crew, satellite uplink truck, all this stuff that they've got to plan to be in place. You can't just plan to be completely mobile. So they take two spots, two crews, set them up, and hopefully one of them's clear. So I volunteered, and we are, and I still am on the backup crew, right? We're the secondary crew. For the annular eclipse in August, we went to Ely, Nevada, and at the Nevada Railway Museum, which was really pretty cool. And I took 4 telescopes and 2 mounts and set everything up. These are the 2 close-up shots. This one has got a Etalon, Daystar Quark Etalon for hydrogen alpha filter on it. This one is plain white light. So it's got the white light solar filter on this end and a regular camera here. And then this one has no filter up here, but it through the Etalon is filtered of hydrogen alpha wavelength only. And what that does is gives you much more detail of the sun's surface. And you can see solar flares and stuff like that, prominences in that range. Then the other telescope was a small Coronado telescope to get almost a full disk image of the sun in hydrogen alpha. And then this is a television camera lens that's remote control zoom and all this stuff that they do from the truck hooked up on my mount. So these are both my mounts and all this equipment. Now, I spent months preparing for this, setting all the equipment up, getting everything ready. I had, they said, don't bother, if y'all been to the meetings before, I'm big on building my own power supply. So I got these lithium-ion battery packs, and I've got everything connected with really good heavy-duty cables, power pole connectors, and all this other stuff. So nothing is jiggles loose in the middle of imaging or anything. And I had this 30 amp ham radio 12-volt power supply that I've used for decades with my ham radio gear. And that was going to be my power supply for all this. Plugged into 110. They've got a generator out there supplying juice. We get there. It's 4 days. The first day, we set everything up. The first night, I polar align my mounts. Then the next day and the day after that are both practice days before the actual event. And it's not just me practicing. They've got television people that are there talking on screen and working out their skits and stuff, whatever. And but that first night, I got there, got my scope, got my mounts polar aligned. It was wonderful. They lined up real quick. Got them weighted down with these heavy duty bags so they couldn't move. Everything was really slick. We come back, but the temperature dropped. We got there, it was 50, 60 degrees in the daytime. It wasn't bad, actually pretty nice. I like it cool. That night it got down about 10 degrees. And my 30 amp ham radio power supply said, I'm done. And so we didn't have 12 volts. Somebody had this jumper pack in their truck, and here's where my ham radio power supply normally connects. You see here connected to these big alligator clips for trying to jump start a car. That ran all my equipment. It was just like I had such a neat setup, and this is what I wind up with. But it did. It worked. Everything was fine. Here's a couple more pictures. Trying to get everything set up. I even had an umbrella for shade so I could see the little monitor I had to work with in the bright sunlight. And of course, I brought the appropriate umbrella. And this is the setup. This is a lot of the production equipment back here and the computers that they ran imaging through. This is day of, where we had everything blocked off so nobody would come walking through in front of it. This is my station. Basically, I drove both mounts from an iPad. This is driving one, and that one's driving the other. And all I'm doing here is basically monitoring the images coming from the cameras and making sure we track, or if we see something interesting in the way of a prominence or sunspot or something that I could steer the close-up pictures to those interesting spots on the sun.
Rick, over on the far right, you got a couple of more monitors. Is that another astronomer?
No, this
To the right of
is
that, right
this is
there.
the video production guy. So he has a computer hooked up to each one of those cameras. Those cameras are all black and white, and they do some work with imaging coming off the camera to colorize it the way they think it's supposed to look and all this. And then this shows all four monitors at once. What's being piped over to the satellite truck is being fed to the satellites. This is the video producer, video director. This is actually me. Those are my knee pads. I'm old. I don't get down on my knees without knee pads. So there's a couple more shots. See, this is my chair. You can tell I'm on set. This is mine. That's my name right there on my chair. It really was fun to work with a TV production crew, because that's really what this was, as a television production crew. And they operated well together. It was a smooth machine. This is some of the images that, as it comes close to annularity. There's the satellite truck. Y'all can't see it for that stuff, but then this is essentially what we wound up with. And as I didn't think this was going to be that cool to look at, but I swear it was the coolest thing. It was just, you don't get the total blackout thing, but you look through a pair of solar binoculars or through a telescope at this annularity, and it's just cool. That's all there is to it. So that was October of 2023. And so now we've got the total eclipse coming up for April. And this is the path. And I'm going to try to drive around a few things here.
Quick question for you. Was that last picture of the eclipse, was that one of your H-alpha telescopes, like a Coronado telescope? Or is that just what did you use to take that picture? That one?
This one?
Yeah.
This was with the white light filter. This was not hydrogen alpha.
Okay.
This is hydrogen alpha right here. And you can see this one I had a problem with the close-up in that it's called Newtonian rings. It's an interference pattern that sets up. Anytime you start dealing with monochrome light, basically a single frequency, then reflections between surfaces of glass back and forth, no piece of glass is completely transparent, and you'll get reflections going back and forth in between lens surfaces and the front of the CCD camera. And it gets, you can real quickly run into interference patterns, and that's what that is. And the solution for that is to offset the camera a little bit so it's not flat on the image. But my adapters are very rigid for normal purposes, and they didn't allow me to offset it any. I've since bought a piece that'll do that. So next time I won't have that problem. It's actually a plate with a curved surface, and so you can rotate it a little bit like that, and $200. So there is a solution, and I've got that now. Okay, so what I want to show you now is essentially, this is the path, and it'll be coming up through Mexico, from moving from the south to the north. And the two teams, my team will be in Torreon, Mexico. And the cool thing about that is we'll be one of the first live feeds on the planet with the actual eclipse, with totality, with first contact. All of that will hit us first. So we might, at that point, we might be the primary feed in the satellite business. The other team is going to be in, what's it called? It was Junction, Texas or something. Yeah, the other team will be here, Junction, Texas. There's a university there that is hosting that group. For Torreon, oh, come on now, Rick. Ah, there it is. I see it. Okay. So Torreon is here. Ah, there it is. The airport's there. It's right at the end of the airport. And where'd it go? Planetarium. There you go. Okay. So this is, I think before this is a very old satellite image. So this is where we will be. This is not current. This does show you that where we're at on the path. And let me back here real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. So I meant for this to be where y'all should be. Let me back up here, and I got ahead of myself. So, and you saw it on Jeremy's map again. You get to Jonesboro. This is the quickest path to totality. You get to Jonesboro, you're in it. You're short a minute. I think you get 3 minutes and something here. You get on up here, you get 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So you get about a minute and a half extra time if you get to the path, get closer to the center. But you will be in the complete shadow of the moon, and you'll get the effects that happen. I've been closer to the center on the one time that I've been at one, and the 360-degree sunset that people talk about, I don't know how much that changes when you get offset like this, but it is pretty awesome because you'll be in darkness, except it looks like sunset right off in the west and off in the east and in the north and in the south. It's just the whole thing, and it's pretty awesome. Hardy, Arkansas is up here. That's where Kia Kima is. But what I want to do is point out, get to Pettigene. I've got an idea, and I'm not going to be able to do it. There's a little rock. Okay, here's more. All right. So if you look right here, this is what's called Pettigene Mountain, and it's a tabletop rise above the rest of the planet, around the rest of Arkansas. The Arkansas River's down here. I have stopped. Where is it? Yeah. So here's once you wind your way up this steep hill, there's a little park area right here that, let me go to the straight Google map, that I've gone to since I was a kid. I would stop by there anytime wherever up there because it's beautiful to look out over the river and the flatland below it. Okay, so let's go to. All right, so this is it. No, there you go. There you go. Okay, it'll pop up. There you go. All right, so this is kind of what you get to look over. You got this beautiful view. Get rid of that. Over all this flat land out here. And if it's anywhere near clear and not too hazy, this is absolutely gorgeous. And you'll be looking north at this bluff. And my idea is, especially if anyone's got even a cell phone that'll do high-speed imaging, any of those slow-mo features of an iPhone or something, they do that by going a fast shutter speed. So you're taking a lot more frames per second, playing it back at regular frame rate. So if you can get something like a high-speed, high frame rate video camera or something, or like I say, even a cell phone do the slow-mo function, as that shadow comes over you, I'm hoping that you can capture that leading edge of that shadow going out across the land. Yeah, that's a challenge, and that could be that'll make you money on YouTube. That would be so cool, and so that's my. I'm sorry?
Who's your friend in the picture?
That one's not my picture, so, yeah. So, and there's plenty of other places up there. You don't have to be right here, but any place there's a lookout on Mount Pettigene out over the land, you might be able to capture that shadow. 1,700 miles per hour is how fast that shadow is going.
If you don't capture at the beginning, you can capture at the end.
I didn't even think about that part, yeah.
Is it a sharp contrast when it goes by?
It's got to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Because it's night and day.
Well,
It's night and day. It is exactly
Blink and
right.
It's all of a sudden day. Okay.
That picture where you were right there,
Uh-huh.
that's about to the field across the river there. That's about 10 minutes in a hot air balloon.
Ah, there you go.
3 hours recovery. The cruise, we were out there till well after dark waiting for the cruise to get there to us.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to play this video for you. So this is the eclipse making landfall in Mexico. Speed of the moon shadow, 1,500 miles per hour. All right. It's 122 miles wide. Just went over Durango. I think this is actually Torreon. It's not showing here, but I think, yeah, there it is, Torreon. Now this is, this is going to be 4 minutes or so. So this is not, this is exaggerated clock speed. This is Del Rio Laughlin Air Force Base there, where my son was for years until 2 summers ago, and then he goes to Columbus Air Force Base. So.
So it's picking up speed? It's picking up speed.
Yeah.
Because of the curvature?
It's angles. It's about
A
angles.
geometry problem.
Ground speed.
What's your duration in Torreon?
4 minutes and 20-something seconds.
Okay, Rick,
Yeah.
is this a website you can go to and see this?
Yes. Great American Eclipse. Huh? Yeah, this video is on their website.
YouTube will have all the information.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, Buffalo's going to be there. Quebec gets a cut in half by it. I guess that's the French side, the English speaking side will be the. Well, I'm not sure we've got a lot of interest in how far this goes, but this is on the Great American Eclipse website. It's one of the first things on their webpage. You're welcome to go check it out. So, let's see. Now back to my slides. Where was I at? Okay, so I've shown y'all where I'm going to be. Uh, all right, so this is it, and these pictures are after the planetarium was finished. So they got a planetarium there. They have 2 observatories. Don't need those videos. This is one of their this is their big observatory. I think this is a 14-inch, maybe. They've got a 60 millimeter Coronado. The observatory director there will be providing the close-up images for this one, for this go around. That's why I don't need your telescope with me this time, Ann. Thank you very much. And so they'll be using the big one, or maybe this one. I'm not sure what this is over here, but they're going to be doing the white light and hydrogen alpha close-ups, and then I'll be handling the wide field shots. And these pictures were all taken during the wedding. Anyway, go back to presentation. And this is, all right, so the guy that was actually the video producer, the guy sitting in the chair next to me that was running the uplink in those other pictures, went down to Torreon recently to scope it all out and plan our existence there. And everything has been planned out. And this is good to know because, they got Ric telescope right here, right? You see where that is? And you see this north indicator, right? So I'm right up stuck in that corner of the building. And north is actually lower on the horizon than it is up here. And I'm suspect it's right in the middle of that wall right there when I try to do polar alignment.
Are you taking the ASI?
I am.
Oh, you can polar alignment.
Yeah, I'm taking a telescope and a camera and the ASI Air to hook up to it to do a polar alignment without the polar.
I think of the front side, that wall might not even be there.
No, it
Say it's an
was.
old photo, right? An old geo photo.
Oh, no, it's there. So here's, let me see if you
How do you get there? Fly out of here to where? Where do you drive?
No, we're flying. In fact, I don't have those details. So they're arranging all the transportation, all the hotel stuff, and we're shipping all of our equipment. I got to pack up my stuff and get ready to ship. They're going to someplace here in the United States, and then they're going to palletize everything and bundle it all up and ship it all down there at once to deal with customs and everything else that's got to be dealt with. So that's a lot of what my March is going to be eat up with, is complete listing of everything in every box and the values of everything and all this stuff, because it's got to deal with customs and all this other stuff. So these are photographs. Let's see. There's a hole in the wall where the cables will go. This is where my telescope will be set up. See, this is where I'll be set up. Well, I don't know. There's a sun right there. Maybe I can use that. Oh, great. So this is the sky from where my telescope will be set up for the eclipse, right? So there's that. He was kind enough to do some solar tracking stuff. So production truck, talent area, generator, where the generator is going to be set. So they don't even trust local power. They'll bring their own generator so that, if everything else craps, they'll have power. Yeah, they have. They've been doing this for a while. So it was really fun working with them in Ely. This is back into the, if anybody wants, I've got one of these mounts for sale. And here's what they're going to be using. There it is. They must have moved the telescopes into the small observatory, because there's that black one and here's the Coronado. So they've got a big refractor in the large dome. That looks nice, actually. I'm gonna have to go over and play with that. And then this is just some other stuff. So this is this is the kind of work they do to prepare to do this. They send out a scout and do all the detailed measurements, make sure they've got everything. This is not a casual event. So and I think that is all I got for you. So thank you very much. I don't know if you want to take a break and then have Freddie.
Take 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Restrooms down the hall, and then we'll get ready to load up for the second half. Okay, we're ready to start the second part of our program. Everybody get there, take their seats. Want to introduce Freddy, who's helped me a lot with trying to get familiar with some solar observing, including helping me get set up for the last eclipse. So Freddy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, I'm Freddy. I've been in the Astronomical Society for 16 years now. I arrived in 2006, well, 18. And I'm going to try to show you what I did for the previous eclipse and where I got my information and how it go. Okay. Well, you already see this. This is the path of totality in between Nashville, Memphis, and you see Jonesboro here. These maps you can download the maps at nationaleclipse.com, and you can refer them anywhere you want, as long as you put that you took it from them. And for the specific case of Massa, one of the volunteers that is going to go to Kia Kima over here, it's about 12 miles from the center of totality. So it will have 4 minutes and 8 seconds of totality. Okay. Talk to Jeremy if you are interested in coming here. Jeremy did a video, and I don't know if it's still public, about the trip he did. He did a trip there and took a picture of everything there. It's very interesting. The most important thing to get the eclipse and get good results and enjoy it is preparation. I was able to both enjoy the eclipse, see the totality with my naked eye, and then also took pictures, and they came good, okay? During the totality, my wife said that I was happier than when we got married. So, I don't know. Okay, well.
We're recording this, Fred.
She knows. Well, for preparation, the obvious thing is get a good look at the sky, that you don't have trees if you want to capture the 360 horizon. Okay, we went here to Perryville, Missouri, and we were close to the airport, and it was great. Okay, so this is what I did. I got, of course, a good look of the sky. I set up early. We got there very early. You don't want to get there and start mounting and trying to pour a line in the middle of the day, 5 minutes before the eclipse. So get there in advance. Relax and try to plan as much as you can in your mind what is the procedure to set up. Okay, it's because it will come fast, and if you're not prepared, you will not have success. Okay. One thing that we haven't talked, but it's important that you have plenty of liquids. You are going to be in the sun for 3 or 4 hours. Even when it's going in phases, the sun is there and it's burning you, and you will get 30. So you will be in the sun for a while. You need a hat, as you can. And if you are going to use any kind of electronic device, you need some kind of a shadow that will allow you to see inside. Okay. This is something I bought a long time ago. It's called lap dome. You can put there a laptop or 2 tablets or a phone, and that's what I use to capture the eclipse. Okay. You need a chair that is comfortable. And if you can, while you are not taking images or you are not touching anything, you need an umbrella to rest, because the sun gets you tired very easily. Okay. In part of the preparation, you need a packing list. Okay. If not, you are going to fail, because you are going to leave something that you will need there. I can tell you, it happened many times before. Okay. You make your packing list and print it and take it in the car, and then you put stuff in the car, you go marking and marking and marking until you have your packing list ready. And I bet you that even when you do that, you may miss something, okay? So be prepared. By example, in this trip, I only have one SD card for one of the cameras because I forgot. And guess what? That SD card failed. And that was going to be the camera that was going to do a video, and I couldn't do it, okay? So pack 2 or 3 SD cards, batteries, everything, Okay. One thing that I recommend, I couldn't find the original, this was the picture, so I'm sorry for the definition. The cameras, if you are going to use a digital camera, DSLR, they are black. And they are going to be in front of the sun, so they will get overheated if you don't take care of them. So in this case, I bought this. This is that cardboard, exactly. But this is not cardboard. This is one that has a piece of cardboard, a foam in the middle, and another piece of cardboard. So that reflects the heat. So that will protect your camera. You don't get overheating. It's very easy to see. You make a square bigger than the camera, and then make a hole so you can put the lens through. Okay. So, okay. Let me see if I missed something. Oh, this is important. Try to protect the connections. If you have connectors that can slip, get tie wraps, get Velcro, get something that will tie them so they don't pull. Because if you trip or somebody trips, they probably will pull your cables and you lose everything or lose the mount or something, okay? You can practice, if you cannot arrive the day before, you can practice solar spot alignment with the sun, okay? Basically, you start capturing the sun, you see where it drifts, and then you compensate your mount to return to where it was. It's not perfect, but it works. And I learned another trick. If you go take your phone, you can, with rubber bands, you can put your phone towards your mount. Okay, and point to the South Pole.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
So when you have the South Pole aligned, the mount will be aligned with the center of rotation of the Earth.
Right.
Okay, and you can do that aligned within the day. I haven't tried that, but I'm gonna test it. Okay, and the sun shield for your cameras is important. And again, preparation. This is the script I use to get everything running, okay? At arrival, you set the GoPro because my idea was to set a GoPro to film everything and make a time lapse. Guess what? I forgot to turn on the GoPro. Okay, so you gotta have your instructions, memorize them, and have them beside you when you are going to make when you are going to attempt this, okay? So these are my own instructions, okay? And this is not enough. And I'm going to show you some solutions for this because you cannot be aware of the time, especially if you are talking on or doing other things, okay? And in this case, I had at arrival, 5 minutes to second contact, 5 minutes to second contact just before the eclipse starts. And you gotta be aware that 1 minute before totality, you gotta take out the filters. If you don't take out the filters, you don't get totality. So you will get all the beautiful faces, but totality won't go. Okay, and I know of one member of Astronomical Society that took hundreds of pictures, and he forgot to take out the filter for totality. Okay? So that is very important. Preparation, always preparation. You have to run this routine several times before. You gotta practice. You gotta go and, okay, let me set the polar mount, let me set the mount and see if I can capture the sun and align quickly, okay? Because maybe it's clouded at one point and then it gets clear. But if you didn't put a line, you don't have good tracking. So one thing that Rick mentioned, and I would like to mention that too, if this is your first eclipse, just enjoy it. Don't get too involved in the cameras, because if you have a problem, you will be working on the camera, everything gets dark, and you just keep working on the camera and you don't see anything. I was lucky that I was able to take the images and at the same time enjoy it, okay? But it was part luck and part preparation. Okay, this is Fred Spenak, Mr. Eclipse. This is an ex-engineer from NASA, and he's now dedicated to give talks and photograph eclipses. And he has that website where he sells books, everything, and hats and shirts and everything, but he gives a lot of information on how to take images of eclipses. Okay, he has taken, I think that is 18 or something like that. He has traveled all around the world taking images of eclipses. Okay. He has this meteoreclipse.com site, and he has a specific point in the website that directs you to his instructions and his proposals for you taking photos of the eclipse. So in terms of hardware, what cameras are you going to use? Well, for H-alpha, you use, as Rick said, you use black and white cameras because H-alpha is very critical. Color cameras don't work well in H-alpha. Okay, it's something that is established. Okay, so for H-alpha, you need a monochromatic, and you will take videos and then process them. That is a way of doing it, okay? For eclipse, for totality, corona, and prominences during totality, DLSR seems to be the best solution, and it has worked for me. Because on the DLSR, you can control first of all, you can take very fast, pick images one beside the other, for example, to capture the beats. When the sun is just starting to show and the light of the sun comes through the mountains and valleys on the moon, it gets Bailey beats, okay? And for that, you need very, very, very fast exposure, so less than 1 second between one and another, and that with the DSLR is perfect, okay? Instead of the mount, you can use German Equatorial. This is a mount that is classic for this time of job, but you can use an Altas mount with a battery, and you have to align the night before in order to have the mount aligned for Altazimuth because it's different, okay? There is a very good article about observing and dilate polar alignment. That is when I got the trick from the iPhone app for the pointing to the south pole. Okay, in terms of the technique you're going to use, the best thing you can do is preparation. I have told this word several times, but it's key. If you prepare well, you will have good results. If you go, okay, let me see what happens, well, you will see what happens. Okay? Many of the things I'm showing here are explained at MrEclipse.com, okay? Then you need to control your cameras. You won't be able to do a fast settings of exposures, changing aperture or changing ISO, because you do bracketing when you are in totality. So you want to be sure that you capture totality, and if you want to capture the corona, you need to take different exposures so then you can do an HDR image that is mixing different image with different contrast, and then they dump them together and you get a very nice view of the corona, okay? So for camera control, there are several applications. I use one that is called DSLRcontroller.com, and it works. Unfortunately, it just exists for Android. So if you have an iPhone and work with Canon and Nikon cameras, okay? I found another app that kicked this away, but I will show you later. As I told you, I used two cameras, one with the William Optics Zenithstar 66 and one with a 250 millimeter Canon lens. This last one was the one that had the SD card fail and couldn't use it. So it was just doing balance on the telescope, just that. It was a counterweight. Again, I had a script to guide, and don't forget any of the steps what I'm going to do. This is a more detailed image of what where I was preparing. And at the time, I didn't have a timing app when I prepared this. Then I learned in MrEclipse.com that there is astrophotographer, a developer, that provides an app that is $199, and it gives you precise timings of the eclipse. there is something here. Remember, you are in a time zone. And in relation to the eclipse, depending on where you are on your time zone, the time will change. So any timing application has to take that into consideration. And one of the application I will show you does that, okay? Also, what are going to be your exposures? Mr. Eclipse has this table where based on your focal ratio and your film speed, he uses film, but you can use this for digital cameras, it's the same, okay? You do a match between, my telescope is about 5.9, so it's between these two. So I say, okay, I'm gonna use 5.6 and my ISO will be 100. So these are the times that I'm going to use to get the corona. Okay? You can do that for your camera and your combination, and you have that written down. But you need some way to make this automatic. If you can't, then you can do this. Okay? And many people did that in the past, so it's doable. So you will have to, again, you will not enjoy the eclipse. You will have to be moving the camera and clicking and checking and, okay? Be prepared. And this is the table that I ended using. So these are the results that I took from my exposures. For the HDR sequence, I started in 1/3200 all the way to 1.3 seconds. And I would like to have done more, because one of the members got a very good pictures, and he even got the earth shine on his image of the corona. Okay, and it was with 4 seconds. So I will have gone one more and I will have it gone, but I didn't. Okay. And he is a strategy for explicit view. Earth shine, the light of the sun that comes, reflects on the earth, go back to the moon, and then back to the earth.
And so what you see in the picture is some detail
On the moon. Yes.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah. You can do that easily with a camera during the first phase of the moon, okay, before first quarter. Okay, this is the strategy for Mr. Eclipse on how to watch an eclipse. That is valid also to photograph the eclipse, okay? One of the things is mobility that Jeremy was mentioning before. You gotta have several sites where you want to go, if you can. Do not use public transportation. Carry a GPS, an eclipse path map. This can be resolved with your phone now and with an app. I will show you too. Okay. Well, he said I arrived 2 days early, and Rick arrived 3 days early. Monitor national weather forecast. You can use Skip Sky for cloud forecast. You need to have some eclipse glasses with you just in case. Okay, and you have 3 deadlines for deciding where you're going to go. One, the last deadline, 24 hours before totality, 12 hours, and 6 hours. And this deadline of this hour is where you are going to decide where to go. And then there you go. You're on your own. For those that are going to capture videos, there are 2 applications that you can use. This is software related. You can use, this is SharkCap, it's a German guy, and this is a simulation. This was captured during the last eclipse earlier. And this shows you the 3 colors. And this is a simulation. So in a black and white camera, you don't have, we have one of the histogram layers here. Or you can use SharkCap that does the same. For taking videos, you should never let your histogram go beyond 550%. If you go higher, when you integrate the images, you will lose the tail, and some spot will be overexposed and you lose detail on the image, okay? That is just the software. Learning how to use this is another presentation, okay? But I just mentioned that so you know what can be done. And this is the controller that I was using for the DLSRs. This is the screen of the tablet. Here you can control exposure. This is the trigger. You can control exposure, ISO compensation, speed, and you can hear the M is live view. You can control all those things. And you can go to the time lapse where you said, okay, I want an interval of 5 minutes. I will take one shot without autofocus, and each shot, but we have 5 shots of JDR, so it will iterate the exposure 5 times during each group of pictures, okay? The problem with this one is that I had to be there to tell it, okay, 5 minutes go, 5 minutes go, 5 minutes go. Okay, so for the partial phases, I was too busy and to concentrate on other things, I didn't use it. But it's a good application for controlling the camera and do the bracketing if you want. There is an app, again, I'm sorry for the definition, there is an app for controlling the cameras with an iPhone or iPad, okay? And it's called, what's the name of it? Camera Connect. Here it is. And this is $11 for the Pro version. If you are going to do this, I recommend the Pro version. Okay, it has more flexibility. Has a timer function. One thing only works on Wi-Fi cameras. Okay, the previous application, you have a cable that goes from the tablet to the camera, and it controls the camera that way. This one only controls the cameras that are Wi-Fi. There are several YouTube videos that show how to work. If you are going to get deep into one of the applications, I suggest you start today and spend 2 or 3 days working with it, making it work the way you want, and then you can rest. If not, it won't work to learn that the day you get this, for sure. Don't wait. And finally, this is the timer application. Okay, I used this same application on 2017 and it worked fine. Okay, this application is co-developed with Fred Spenak, the Mr. Eclipse guy, and it's very precise on calculating each of the different phases of the eclipse. You enter here your latitude or longitude, or you can click to get my GPS, and it will calculate all the important phases of the eclipse. Then you can you go to the timer, and it will set the times here, and it will tell you what to do. By example, you select the eclipse. Okay, so let's see here. This is our eclipse. It will tell you when is the first contact, second contact, maximum eclipse, third contact, and fourth contact, okay? And during the eclipse phases, it will give you tips of what to do, okay? So observe the pinhole effect. So you can go put a pinhole and see the several shadows of the eclipse. Okay, it will allow you to, it will give you tips on what to observe or what to do. Okay, here is the screen where you introduce your latitude, longitude, and it will give you the times. And when you tap to do content times, it will pass you to the timer, a part of the application. Here, timer. With the timer function, you can simulate the eclipse in any day. So if you set it up and you forget it and you are home or in the office, ting, 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 ting. 5 minutes to first contact. Oh, I forgot to turn it on, okay? Also, one good thing that it has, it will tell you if you want to photograph the partial phases, it will give you the times for each of the captures. Okay? So you can use the select and you get the table. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the function ready, but if you type here, you will get a spreadsheet, a PDF where you have to write down the times. It doesn't write them for you. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have time to develop that. And in the Mr. Eclipse site, I found this app. This is a new app. It only works on Android. And it does the same thing. Okay, it has the Eclipse and everything, but you can create a script that will run inside the app based on the times. So you can have automated imaging based on the each of the phases. This is an example. So, by example here, C2 minus 35 seconds show shadow bands, and it will show you a message on the screen, shadow bands, okay? But the most important, C2 minus 3 seconds, take peak, Bailey's beads with the camera EOS 430, exposure 1000 a second, ISO 200. And it will take the image for you. So you don't have to touch your camera. So if your telescope is tracking properly, it will take the pictures. And then you can do sequences, okay? For each of the phases you want to image. I spend 8 hours perfectioning my script. But now I have a script that will capture from 5 seconds before first contact all the way to the last contact without touching the camera. The only thing I will have to do, remember, take the solar filter out. Okay? Okay, and I was able to synchronize now this with the timing application. So now, when the timing application tells me take the filters out, it's because I'm close to start taking images there. So I have the two applications running at the same time. On different equipment, don't run the timer with the taking images, or don't run the timer with this application at the same time, okay? If you want to use this application by itself, it works fine because it has a delta T adjustable. So you can go to another website and pull the information for the delta T for your location, and it will take the time compensation for that latitude and longitude in your time zone. Okay, the script now is synchronized with the partial phases on the other apps. So I just need to go there, start both apps, adjust if I have, and if you see here, the script is not using time, it's using the event. So if I decide to move 100 miles away, it will still be valid. The script will still be valid because the time depends on the location. And it depends on each of the phases of the eclipse.
You have to load the location in order to...
You can use, in both applications, you can use the GPS. You can use the GPS of the phone, or you can load manually. If you want to get the two to be precise, you use one GPS as a, because sometimes you have a phone and a tablet, and GPS will have a slightly different location for you. So you take one and take that as a master. But you don't, here you see, these are the locations for Cherokee Village. That is one of the spots in Kia Kima. And these two locations, I put it manually. But if you move, you give me a location on GPS, and it will pull it, okay? You can learn this application in 2 or 3 hours, all the menus and all the things, okay? Okay, the application can be synchronized, and the partial phase will be set on the script, so you have only one script. By the way, if you want the script, I can sell you now. I'm sorry. Just ask for it. Okay, this is another application because so far we are decided to go to one place. But what if we need to move? Okay, then it comes this application that Jeremy called to my attention and he made a video. Totality. This is a map application. Okay, it shows a Google map where it shows the totality and the path, and then you can select where you want to go, and it will tell you if you are in totality and allows you to pinpoint where you want to be. But not only that, there you cannot see the streets, but you can zoom. It's a Google Maps application. You can zoom and you can see the streets or roads, anything you want. So it works perfect. And this application exists for both iPhone and Android. And here you see, I click on one location and it pops this menu and tells you where it begins, what is the max, and where it ends. And if you click on details, it gives you the exact timings for each of the phases. So I say that this is a point and shoot because you point where you want to go and it will show you what you need to know. And Jeremy did a video. Is it public?
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel.
Okay. The video is very good. I'm not gonna, he did it much better than me. Okay, for fun. If you are not happy enough, there's still more things that you can do, okay? You can try taking images for people during the full eclipse. It's fun because the faces of the people, my wife said, I told you, I was so happy, okay? She didn't take a picture, thank God. Take images of the horizon during totality. I have one picture I make for one north, one east, one west, one south. And it's incredible. I didn't pull it here because I didn't want to extend too much. If somebody wants to see them, they are on my website. One other thing that you can do is measuring temperatures during the eclipse. Okay, if you are with somebody else, make that person take measurement of temperature every 50 minutes. Not only when the app tells you, but you can take, and you will see the drop in temperature. You will feel it during the eclipse. You will feel if you are sweaty because of you are being in the sun, you will see the difference in temperature. You will feel it. Another thing that I would like to suggest is document your trip. It will be bringing memories in the future, okay? And another thing, I discovered running the simulation that during totality, we will have Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and Mars aligned. So this is the sun in totality. This square here is the sensor of my camera with the wide angle lens. Okay.
We'll figure it out.
It's 17 millimeters.
17, okay.
And
Must be a comet, too, isn't it?
there will be a comet too. It's not here. Okay, but you may try to get it. Okay, and well, I gotta. The sun is here with the moon. Okay, and these are aligned on the diagonal of the sensor, so that's a good thing to try to do. You will have to move the center of the camera a little bit to the left, like 45 degrees, and you will see it. And these are some of the pictures that I took during that day, okay? This one is an H-alpha image of the last eclipse, okay? And that is the way it looks. Here are my Bailey beads, okay? This is a picture taken to the totality, one of the pictures of the horizon. You see, it's dark, so dark that the lights from the parking lot at the airport are on. And you can see the shadow of the things that are here in the ground. Okay, so it gets really dark. And this is one picture of the corona. And it should show some prominence, but I don't see them. Okay, and this one, look what this is here. That is Venus. Okay? This picture was taken by my wife. I told her, take a picture over there, and we will see if we get it. And he got it. She got it. And this is my favorite. Thank you. Questions?
So is the HL,
Do the airlines have any notice to airmen or restrictions where nothing happens during that
Not that I know.
totality?
There is somebody that can
landing or
answer.
Takeoff?
There is somebody that can answer that for me. No, don't know that I know.
Delta's flying a flight from Austin to Detroit during the total. But as far as anything airline, it doesn't have no effect.
I know that there is a charter that
I was
is
just
being
thinking,
offered to get on
during
the plane
takeoff or
and
landing, if
follow the shadow.
They make it start to work. I don't care what it was, flight outside or not.
The Delta
Well, I was
flight's already
thinking the
sold out, though.
transition.
I have one question.
Huh?
If the mount is going to move to track the sun, and if you're doing bracketing, how do you ensure that you're going to get sharp images? Because if the mount is moving and then bracketing is occurring, it's going to be
Well,
fuzzy.
you are using wide angle images. Okay? You are using, you see, if you
Well,
see here, this is a crop image of the sensor of the camera.
right.
Okay, so the movement of the sun during one or two exposures is not good enough to show any distortion or movement of the pixels of the camera because you are using wide angle. If you have CA with 2000 millimeter lens and then small sensor, then yes.
Not 2000, how about basically 600? Will that still show it?
This is F5, it's like 350 millimeters.
This is 350.
Linen bridle, silk bridle, something.
If your mount's moving,
Yeah.
it's moving to keep the object centered
You
in the
you want the
same
sun?
place that
Oh,
the
what
camera.
happened?
Right, so it should
So
not
you
fall.
should be able to stack that.
They're a little bit different.
It's not moving.
Go ahead.
Ah, okay. Where, Jenny?
It's got to be.
Next one? No, this one.
Was this a single exposure?
Yes,
What lens did you use for this one?
that is the William Austin 360 millimeters on a Canon camera.
All right, so you used your refractor and a Canon camera.
Yes,
Right, okay.
yes.
And then the other one is an HDR image, right?
Yes, it's several exposures.
How many?
It was on the
So that was
table
the
like
list from
10.
132 down to
Uh-huh.
1.3?
Mhm.
So if you had gotten the 3-second or more, you would have had the details of the moon,
Yes.
which is what Ross captured.
Yes,
Okay, so that was your plan. Now, so you programmed the camera, the script in your camera included all those exposures?
yes. This time I'm going to 10 seconds. I don't know what's going to happen,
Try to get details of the surface of the moon from the earth shine.
but I'm going for 10. I'm going for broad.
I had a question also for both of you guys about transition from Bailey's beads to totality. And
It's very fast.
Well, specifically, trying to capture that transition. So,
What I do, when I know that it's going to end, I start 5 seconds before and 5 seconds after.
okay.
So I have a 10 second, and in 10 seconds the Bailey beads are gone.
I do a lot with my iPhone. This is how I got the 360-degree sunset.
Okay,
I'm old school.
okay.
So could you theoretically mount your iPhone on your telescope?
But you cannot move it, because if you move it 1 sec, if you move it, and it won't give you time to align it again before everything stops. So
Assuming the
you have
telescope's tracking, the telescope is tracking, take the filter off
Mhm.
5 seconds before, and then put it back on 5 seconds after. Would you capture that transition?
Yes,
What?
yes.
No?
5 seconds before, yes.
Before the total?
5 seconds up before the C3.
Before C2 and after C3?
Yeah.
Roughly 5 seconds?
Yes.
Because you don't want it to be exposed too long?
No.
Because you got sunlight still coming in. You see what I'm trying to say? You see what I'm asking, right? Transition from Bailey's beads to totality when the corona comes out.
5 seconds,
If you're going to capture Bailey's beads, the filter has to be on.
no,
Yes.
no. No?
I guess better to destroy a camera than an eyeball.
Well,
Yes. No, these were ones, for these Bailey's beads, it's a little bit of an exposure there, okay?
well, okay, yeah.
But it was 1/6400 a second,
Okay.
64,000.
Diamond ring, you need filter on. Bailey's beads, you're at the end, you're basically going from diamond ring to Bailey's beads to totality. Bailey's beads, just a few seconds,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah. It's a.
If you want them, be sure to eliminate them, I would suggest a video.
That's that's what I'm gonna do. all right?
Okay, a video on 30, at least 30 frames per second.
Okay. You could have a video camera
There
running
you go.
at the eyepiece of your telescope, take the filter off 5 seconds before, get the Bailey's beads, and then the transition to totality. Would that work theoretically?
Sure, yeah?
What focal length, Fred?
Huh?
What focal length?
Whatever video.
Whatever you got, you don't change the focal length, you can't.
And you're just talking
You
about
would do
using the
350 with your,
iPhone.
William
that's what I'm
Optics,
getting at.
right? That's what 350 was your focal length?
Yes, 350 with an optics, yes.
That's what you used to shoot the?
Yes.
Okay.
And those are cropped from the big frame of the camera. Can you go to Mr. Eclipse of Come?
Well, I was gonna share the comment, where the comment's gonna be.
Okay, it will, okay, let me see. If the comment is gonna be,
It's right up there around Jupiter.
yes, it may appear there.
Forget the comment.
That's what I'm going to 10 seconds.
So, let me, can I share?
Yes, go ahead.
It's gonna be between Mars and the sun, and it's gonna be.
No, it's gonna be here.
Right about here,
Yes, so close to Jupiter there.
somewhere there, top. It's up here.
Maybe we need a 20-second exposure. More than 20, it will be blurry.
So did you use refractor?
A refractor, yes.
My brain is turning this things that said
Reflector will not.
Reflector can work, yes.
But
then if you filter off like a minute before.
No, a minute is too much. You have to take out 10 seconds. More than 10 seconds is just still too much light.
That's where your solar eclipse timer is everything, because it will
Yes.
help you
Yes.
time down to the
Yeah,
second
because-
when to remove
exactly.
those filters, depending on your location.
So even on
Yes.
the refractor, a minute is too much?
What? Yes. With any kind of lens, more than 10 seconds before totality is too much. Even for you.
Especially for you.
Okay.
You can replace the camera.
Yes, you can replace the camera,
Replace the
but not your
camera.
eyes.
You cannot replace your eyes.
And the camera will shut down itself. Yes, I tell you, I did once. I was taking once a picture, trying to make a flat frame, and I put a towel in front of the camera, taking to the sun, and the breeze, I didn't do anything to hold it. And when I was coming back, I had, what happened? The camera, it was pointing at the sun, but it shut itself off. As soon as I saw the light of the sun,
Solar eclipse timer, that said, take the filter off, and Freddy was sitting right there, and he hollered, take the filter off.
Guys, I'll do a tutorial for the solar eclipse timer app also, and I'll get that up. But basically, all you do is you open the app, select the eclipse time, okay, hold the April 8 data, click OK, grab your GPS location, and you're good to go.
no, oh, they changed the article. No, okay, go ahead.
Quick and dirty.
For sure. I don't remember what they were asking. Okay, oh, that's it.
Anybody have any other questions? I got one more for Freddie and Rick. 15 by 35 millimeter wide angle lens, DSLR. You're kind of trying to get
15?
15 by 35.
Yes, it's wider than the one that I have there. It will give you like 70 degrees.
What settings do you recommend for capturing, like, you know, a wide shot of the eclipsed sun during totality, and then the landscape.
So that's not gonna be big enough.
You will have a square.
Well, sun.
And the sun will be
sun
just a
almost
tiny
over
blob.
here, Even 15.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, now I remember.
Almost
Let
90
me
degrees
see.
field of view to get to the ground.
Because the sun's gonna be so high in the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that-
You need it,
Okay.
if it's close to noon, you
This,
need like.
this is a
90
table
degrees to
that
get
tells
to
you,
the,
based
down
on
to
your
the ground.
focal length and a Canon or a, what they call full frame, that are the new cameras, or crop frame. Okay? This is the size of the sun with a 135 millimeters in relation to the frame of the camera. Now divide this by time, but imagine you're using 13, you said, or 15?
15.
It's about 10 times smaller. So you will see just a tiny dot there.
You're not gonna get any landscape though. Sun's gonna be almost directly overhead.
Well, it's, yeah, what is it, almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:50. So, still gonna be pretty high up.
You're not gonna get any landscape. 15, no,
Yeah, yeah.
And he has,
You'd have to have the camera really low on the ground.
Well, okay.
I wish I could show the video from Fred.
Yeah, you could dig a hole. Yeah, I was gonna say.
If you dug a deep enough hole.
You want
could
this?
Get the edges of the hole.
Yeah.
on the sun.
How do you get this?
Yeah.
okay, it's a 28 millimeter lens and tripod,
Yeah.
There you go.
okay?
28 millimeter. That's within that range.
But how high?
Yeah, but not
It
13.
has to be close to the, it must have been a coincidence in terms of how high the sun was in the ground.
Yes.
Do we know what time of day that was?
That must have been later, it's 2001.
Like if it was in the evening or early morning, you're gonna be in better luck there.
It was like 5 p.m.
Need to go to main.
It's better to download this picture.
Just take pictures of the horizon and then just stitch them later.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea right there, is stitching, yeah.
Yes, you can stitch.
Fake
Yes.
it, just
Yeah,
don't
fake
tell
it,
them.
yeah.
Just don't say you stitched it later.
Well, and I mean, if you're careful, you can stitch it in a way that it's not too badly faking it, yeah. You'd just have to do a lot of stitching, yeah.
Yeah, the sun there is kind of low,
You know, so many softwares nowadays do scout replace.
I mean, the vast majority.
Well, you can look for it. It's Zambia
stitched too,
on
so.
2001.
You can have the eclipse up here.
Yeah.
And it's totality, so you know. But for the way I see the corona,
Black, I
the
guess.
corona
actually,
there is
during
about
the eclipse,
2
yeah.
or
Even easier.
3 solar diameters.
Yeah, stamp, just don't stamp.
For 3 solar diameters,
Yeah.
you're talking about, for my combination, 1 second exposure.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Good luck.